You are now tuned in to Peach State TV, where any gym is home. www.peachstatehoops.com. Enjoy the show.
Hello and welcome to another episode of JumpOffPlusToday.com show. I'm your host, Keil. This is our third episode of the Coach's Corner. I've got Coach Jonathan Hemingway with me. Today we're going to talk a little bit about the mental approach and some of the things you can do to become a complete player from a mental aspect. Coach, how's everything going today?
Going well, Keil. Good to be here.
Great. Talk a little bit about mental approach of the game, having a kid with a high basketball IQ, establishing and developing a high basketball IQ.
Sure thing. One of the things that I see that kids need to do, number one, they just need to play a lot of basketball. I can remember growing up playing basketball myself. That's the number one way that you learn about the game. You need to spend some time playing the game, not just working with your individual trainer, but actually playing some 5-on-5 and learning how to make the reads, how to make the proper pass. What it takes to be able to stop a particular type of play. So number one thing that you've got to do is you've got to play a lot of basketball. I don't think there's ever been a great player that has come through at any level that hasn't put in a significant amount of time, in the off-season playing basketball. The second thing that I would say, Keil, in order to become a complete player and develop mentally is you've got to watch a lot of basketball too. And we talk a lot about, with the teams that I coach and the coaching staffs that I'm on, about being a student of the game. Watching NCAA tournament games, understanding why teams win, and perhaps even more importantly, why do they lose. So if you see a team, turning the basketball over because their point guard doesn't have their head up, well, you need to take that, you need to apply it to your own game. If you see a basketball game, whether it be NBA, high school, collegiate level, and the teams aren't rebounding well, and you see teams getting beat because they're giving up a lot of second shots, well, you need to take that and try to apply it to your own game and bring that to your team as well, too.
Talk a little bit about, you hear college coaches and coaches alike talking about paying attention to detail and how important it is to pay attention to detail. Talk a little bit about that and some of the things you look for.
Absolutely, Keil. That's a great point. As a coach, you're obsessed. I'm obsessed with the details of the game of basketball. What type of defense the other team is playing. How are they guarding? Our type of screens. And, the thing about it is as a coach, we can't coach everything. We can't see everything. So it's really important for players to become coaches on the court, especially at the point guard position. But that's not to say that if you're a post player that you can't be a coach on the floor too. And so when we talk about paying attention to detail, just the little things, such as making sure that you get a block out every time the shot goes up, making sure that you're pressuring the ball to the outside part of the court, or whatever your coach tells you to do as far as their system or philosophy. Exactly. Attention to details such as making sure that you contest every single shot on the defensive end. Making sure that you pass the basketball to the outside hand. When your teammates being defended on the perimeter. So I could go on and on about those little things, but quite honestly, it's really the little things that determine whether or not you win or lose a basketball game, and more than that, whether or not for many of the players that may be watching here, whether or not you become a collegiate player or not. You can't just worry about scoring the basketball, but you've got to become a complete player in every aspect of your game.
Yeah, very, very important. Well, it's another episode of the JumpOffPlusToday.com show, Coach's Corner. We've got Coach Jonathan Hemingway with us. I'm Keil Moore, and we're signing off.